Hello everyone, my name is Matt Scorpion, and welcome back to another reset update in Destiny 2. Now, you will be met with a message when you log in this week that tells you that the Dawning is officially ending on January the 4th. So after this weekend, next Tuesday, the Dawning will be going away. So if you want a chance at the Zephyr Sword, any of the Dawning weapons, new or returning, any cosmetics that are unique to the Dawning, armor, shaders, and ships, emblems, they will be gone again for another year next week at Reset. So if you wish to pick up any of these, then of course there are plenty of tutorials for various farms and all that sort of things and how-tos. So if you need to get anything, I would recommend doing them now so you don't miss them until next year. Because I'm not kidding, they will not be back until next Dawning, which might feel like a long time when you think about Destiny. Now that being said, into the reset, there are a few things going about in the world, and it's time to go through them. So starting off the simplest one, Crucible, we have Showdown for our rotation matches, as well as, I imagine, nope, Iron Banner would be active right now if Iron Banner was going, so there is none of that. And for our Grandmaster, we have, for the weekly, the Hollowed Lair again. Now, this is one of the tougher ones in this season. I'd say number 3 hardest, maybe number 2. I think this one is officially, in my book, harder than Proving Grounds. But then again, there's we've had some of the worst lineups available for this whole Nightfall scenario. So the modifiers being Festering Rupture, that makes us that little mini Screeps spawn out of Scorn Stalkers, aka the most abundant enemy, as well as Unstoppable Overload champions and our usual Grandmaster modifiers, including Match Game, Equipment Lock, Extinguish, Limited Revives, Mob Champions, and Chaff, with a Fanatic Zeal where incoming stasis and splash damage is increased. Now that one honestly isn't too terrible. While splash damage is terrible, that makes it so that the Screeves and everything that explode are more lethal, but then again, stasis is only available from Ravagers in this mission, and there's not as many Ravagers, so it's a little bit more manageable. And the weapons available are, of course, Adept Izume and Adept Plug 1, and they're good options. Adept Plug 1 is probably better than Izume, honestly. Izume is definitely more of a Crucible option, just because. But then moving into Gambit, there's nothing new there, per the usual. And for Vault of Glass, for the hard mode, it was Fatebringer last time, which means it is Strangers in Time. This one is Gatekeeper Challenge, where you have to kill the Praetorian and the, not Hydra, Wyvern at relatively the same time in and out of the different worlds. And up for grabs is Time Lost Has Vengeance. So, if you want a shot at that, then you can actually do that. And in addition to mobility-focused armor this week for the rest of the raid. Now, moving throughout the rest of the world, let's see. Europa, we have... Actually, you know what? Hang on. One thing takes precedence. The Dares of Eternity. Let's see what our rollout is for this week. So, the Disciples of Ne, we have taken Cabal and Zydron for our loadout. Or, I should say, for our enemies. So, you will need... Well, you'll still need all 3 types of champions. Unstoppable Overload for Taken and Unstoppable Barrier for Cabal. But it's a little bit easier just because you only really definitely need a Pulse Rifle, mostly. But that is also for the Legend variety, in case anyone... And there's still rank and file damage increase, so Scions, Legionaries, I'm pretty sure those just straight up shred you either way. Now, moving into Europa, we have the Agility Simulation for a Pinnacle. We have the Asterian Abyss Eclipse Zone, which means the Warrior Empire Hunt. That is probably an annoying one if you want to go for high score. And for the Deep Stone Crypt, our rotating challenge is Of All Trades. This is Nuclear Descent Challenge, and it basically makes it so that during the Ball phase, or Tactics Part 1, everyone has to have every roll at least once, going on and off. So, for instance, if I was running it, it would be Suppressor, then a phase where I do nothing, then it will be Scanner, phase where I do nothing, and then Operator, a phase where I do nothing. Because there are 6, and everyone needs to do them at least once. Now, one more detail going into other things as well. One last detail, the Moon. It is Leftovers Challenge. I always forget what that is. I think it's a Harpy Challenge where you have to not kill any of the Cyclopses. Now, going into every other thing, I saw a video from Azcross, so I might want to remind people. When Witch Queen happens, there's a lot of stuff that's going into the vault, including various other things. Spider, while Tinkled Sword might be going away, his resource purchases will be going to Rahul, and there's some other things. But there are definitely several things in the game that will be going away. So if anyone wants to actually check and see a full list of things will be going away, either from Bungie or various YouTubers, I would recommend checking that list and actually, you know, making sure you have everything you want before any of these narratives, any of these storylines, any of these locations, they just go away, because I doubt they will be back until at least another year. Very, very minimum. It is not likely they'll be back at a year at all, considering we're already approaching a year without Io, Mercury, and Mars, and there is the only whisper of Mars coming back is because of a part of the Witch Queen campaign, but I'm pretty sure that might be like Phobos in the original Taken King campaign, where you only visited Phobos for that one mission and one later on for an exotic quest, and that was literally it. That being said, it's time to get into the Banshee rolls to see what he has this week. So he has a Toil and Trouble for full auto trigger system moving targets, which is good for the mobility and rapid fire. It does have assault mag and rifle bearer and range masterwork, so that is a pretty solid roll. Full auto for a little bit of enhanced fire rate and moving target for the bonus mobility. And similarly rolled Lonesome with alloy mag, full auto trigger, slide shot, armor piercers for bonus barrier damage if it had anti-barrier, polygonal fluted for stability, and oh my god, well, never mind. See, I'm still hunting a good Cartesian coordinate, but Light from Gold Vorpal isn't too bad, but then it doesn't have liquid coils. So that's really not... It's not the god roll. If you need a fusion flat out and somehow don't have Null Composure, and you haven't gotten a good Glacioclasm, I would suggest this for pure damage phases. But, I mean, I would definitely recommend getting a better one at the same time. Now, Pleiades Corrector, a Genesis Elemental Capacitor, Armor Pierces or Ricochet, Hammer Forge, or Arrowhead Break. That literally goes range or stability, including the rounds. It's either bonus range or bonus stability. So that's not a bad stat roll. And then we have Behringer's Memory, Quick Draw Rampage, Proxy Rounds, High Explosive Velocity. It's still a pretty meh grenade launcher in general. As well as Temptation's Hook, the first caster frame brought to Destiny. It does not have Jagged Edge, but it has two of the next best options, as well as two guards that are not too terrible. But Energy Transfer and Whirlwind Blade, excuse me, not the greatest options. People don't guard nowadays that often. So, I would definitely recommend that Cartesian if you didn't have a good one for yourself, but I wouldn't say use it over everything else. Okay, so I just checked the 801 rules, and per the usual, there is nothing that passed 55 or 56. And I also heard that Xur's hostage inventory wasn't too great, so there's no point in really finding a loadout for him or anything for him. There, of course, everyone's favorite role might be there, but it's not that great if you're just looking for pure god rolls. That being said, that is everything new with the reset mostly. Of course, it is still going on. We still have the epilogue of Witch Queen, or not Witch Queen, Season of the Lost to look forward to, in which it probably reveals how Savathun gets free and gets to her throne world to steal our light. And of course, there is just general Bungie 30th anniversary stuff still to do. If you couldn't tell, my loadout was basically me running Legends and thinking, why not look like a robot while doing it? Because I forgot how awesome the Escalation Protocol armor looked. But that being said, my name is Matt Scorpion, and thank you for watching.